Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Nikos McMahon, and I'm here to talk about mental health. Well, for starters, what is mental health? Mental health is a level of psychology that deals with mental illness. When I say mental illness, I mean anything to do with the brain. So not physically, but mentally. To sum it up even more, it is a form of neurological disorders. When I say neurological disorders, I go back to the point of it. It's all mentally, not physically. So there's a whole bunch of types of mental health. But for now, we'll just name the big ones: depression, anxiety, suicide thoughts, anything like that. Autism, those are all signs of mental illness. Now, I actually have a mental illness. Born and raised with Tourette's my entire life. I went through my whole life not even knowing I had a mental illness. It's crazy, right? Going through your whole life and not knowing you had a mental illness. Now, I knew I had Tourette's, born and raised. I knew that for sure, but I didn't know it was a mental illness. And it's crazy because I went my whole entire life not knowing that until probably a few years ago. Did you know that 46.6 of Americans will deal with a form of mental health through their life? Crazy, right? That's a big number. That's almost half of the United States. Half of Americans will deal with a form of mental health. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? Finding out years later you had mental health hurt me in a way. It hurt me in a way because I could have done so much more on the times that I had it. Now, having Tourette's, I got picked on my whole life. But I overcome that any time I got picked on. So for me, knowing that I had mental health, or knowing it was in the bubble mental health, I could have reached out and helped others, like I'm gonna do today, or I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. That's something I want to look forward to in life, is reaching out to people who might not have Tourette's, but have a form of mental health. Because I know that if they can help me, I can help them. Now, recently, I had a good friend who passed away in mental health. His name is Tiago, or Santi. Santi or Tiago, either or. He was a very good friend of mine. He was loving, caring, just brought a joy, sunshine every time you saw him. Recently, he dealt with a lot of depression. In October of 2019, Santi decided to take his life. It hurt me because I felt like I could have done more. He did not reach out, did not talk to anyone, and when he did, it was only positive and outgoing, but it was never what he was dealing with. He had a breakup with a girlfriend, our other friend passed away, so he was going through a lot, but he never reached out. If Santi would have just reached out, we could have either saved his life or tried to help him. When I got the news that he passed away, my heart sunk into my stomach. I physically didn't know what to do because it just, knowing him and the person he was, it hurt the most. Knowing that he was going through his own battles in his brain and his own deep depression, and that I could have done something to help if he would have reached out, really hurts me the most. It's crazy because you'll see people on TV, athletes, people you never know of have mental health. People like Chris Evans, Captain America, big time actor, huge deal, dealt with mental health. People like Sports Illustrated, Chrissy Teigen, married to John Legend. Sports Illustrated, one of the biggest forms of modeling, dealt with mental health. Other people like Demi Lovato dealt with mental health. People like Sophie Turner, huge name, Game of Thrones, Sophie Turner, married to Joe Jonas, dealt with mental health. But each of these actors dealt with mental health in their own way. They had their own battles and their own forms of mental health. It's crazy because mental health is such a roller coaster of emotions. There's so many forms of mental health. And there's so much going on, you sometimes lose focus of it. But if you know anyone going through mental health, or anyone like sad or depressed, reach out. Show them that you care. Some of these actors who had mental health Some of them dealt with it different. Some of them did movies. Demi Lovato did a whole documentary of her depression and her drug addiction, and she spoke out, and she had groups of people who came together to help her, but that also formed groups of people to share their problems as well. And it's really cool seeing actors and celebrities get together to kind of form this awesome team to help other people just like me and you. Now, if you know anyone going through mental health, don't be scared to help them out. I've had friends who came to me because I'm such a loving and caring person, ask me for help, and I've helped them every single time. Helped them the best I could. Had a girl who had suicide thoughts in the 10th grade came to me. I went to her parents and I told her, hey, your daughter has suicide thoughts, and I saved her life. And it was an awesome feeling that I helped her out. So if you have anyone going through mental health, or anyone depression, anxiety, or any forms of that, don't be scared to reach out. There's hotlines, there's people to call, there's people like me, and there's people like you. My name is Nikos McMahon. You guys have a wonderful night.